welcome back to my box fan build. This video is not going to be boring at all. It's going to be shorter, there's going to be more work, less talking, more enthusiasm, and no music. I'm just kidding. I got a bunch of materials so I can finish building the interior. Alright, so I built a bunch of stuff over here, and I built stuff back here. So now I'm going to build stuff over here. And now that the ceiling's up, I can make cabinets. Alright, so I got my kitchen, my bedroom. Now I need my office. I'm going to have a desk here. And my whole power system is going to be mounted pretty much to the wall. Aside from the inverter, the batteries, you know, the things that weigh like 7,000 pounds. So what I'm going to do, behind my whole desk, from floor to ceiling, I'm going to mount a piece of 3/8 plywood. And behind wherever a cabinet's going to be, I'm going to do the same thing. It's going to be part of the construction of the cabinets. If I measure off the bed, I got exactly 48.5 inches to the door frame. So I mean, I could just go ahead and do a full width sheet, but I'm not going to do that. I just didn't really, it's not how I envisioned it. I'm going to have a little bit off the door here before the desk starts. So I'm just going to figure out how much of that I want and then get a width measurement, measure my height just to the top of the wall studs because I'm leaving this little area open to run wire. And then I'm going to cut a sheet of 3/8 ply. So it's 3 3/4 from the entryway to the grout line on the vinyl floor. And then it's exactly 4 inches from the door frame to that. So I'm going to come in 4 inches from there. So I got 48.5, so I'm going to make a 44.5 inch wide piece. It's going to be 70.5 tall. And then I'll have to notch it out for the wheel tub. I just reparked the van because I need more room. I have to cut all my plywood inside. There's like an ice storm happening. But I got all BCX plywood. That's what I've been buying for this entire build. I have 2 sheets of 3/8, 2 sheets of 1/2 inch, and 1 sheet of 5/8. And then I got a bunch of these. They're called Handy Panel. They're 1/4 inch. And I was gonna get Masonite, but this stuff was $1 cheaper. And it's real wood for the wall panel. And I'm starting to think I probably should have bought Masonite instead because one of them's already like warped. So I don't know, we'll see. But the plan for these is they're gonna be the insert of the cabinet doors. And I'll show you that probably in the next video. I've got a pretty good idea. And it's also going to be the wall panel, which I'm going to paint. I got a gallon of primer and then a gallon of paint. And it is called Pear Cactus. It took me about 30 seconds to pick out my paint color. And then I've got wood stain. This is early American. It took me a good 1.5 minutes to decide on this. And then I've got semi-gloss polyurethane. And I got 5 tubes of Loctite because it was on sale. I got some super glue. I got some wood glue. And my friend let me borrow his router table so I can make all my own cabinet doors, drawer faces, trim. I can do it all. So the first thing I'm going to do, like I said, is cut some 3/8 plywood for that piece of wall there. And that is going to get stained. All right, 70.5 by 44.5. It also took me about 47.5 seconds to pick out that flooring, which a couple people commented is ugly. And you couldn't sneeze faster than it took me to pick out the ceiling. The only reason it took me that long to pick out the floor is there was like another option that I liked. Before I put this in the van, I'm going to sand it. And hopefully those dark spots come out. We'll see. There's also what's called ACX. This is BCX, which means there's one B grade finish ply, and then the rest of the plies are C grade, and the X means it's exterior rated. ACX means there's one A grade finish ply. And I think B grade finish ply is it's been sanded and there's no knots in it. And from what I've been told, BCX and ACX use the same adhesive as marine grade plywood, except marine grade plywood has higher quality plies and it's guaranteed to have no voids internally. That's all I know. My sander broke in that other video, so I have a better one now. And I'm using 150 grit. And I'm just gonna do a light sanding just to make it a little smoother, knock the dirt off of it. I'll probably get it dirty again as I'm messing around with it, but all right. These couple of weird dark spots are smooth as a baby's ass now because I tried to sand them out, but I can live with it. Oh. Okay. I could use a tape measure like some kind of mathematician, or I could wrestle this big sheet of plywood in here and just mark out lines. Okay. I already managed to get a splinter. Now, since I'm cutting from the front, I'm gonna just try to go slow and hope it doesn't chip. But this is gonna be pretty much behind the batteries and, you know, down underneath my desk. Well, it's chipped like that teacup from Beauty and the Beast, but not too bad. All right. Yep. Okay, now I need to figure out where this wire for my porch light comes through and drill a hole for that. And then I need to mark out my studs and screw it to the wall. I'm thinking about, I'm gonna stain and poly everything in place. I'm just gonna do it all in the van. It's just easier that way. A lot of furniture is made like that too. If you ever took it apart, you'd know. or 10.5. And then we're adding 4 inches to that. I'm gonna screw this up so bad. 16 3/4. So 12 3/4, and then 10.5. So I have a vision for like everything here in the van. Like I know exactly what this is gonna look like when it's done. So I know it's kind of hard to follow what I'm doing at the moment, but you'll see. It's gonna turn out pretty sweet. I'm gonna drill a hole now. I'm just gonna do like a 1/2 inch hole for that. And then all the rest of the wires are gonna come on the outside of this. And another thought I had is I might put an outlet on the outside of the van on this side. Might be nice. Maybe a DC port and a power outlet for, you know, camping, whatever accessories I want to plug in out there. This is a 7/16 bit. Close enough. All right, for my studs, I'm just eyeballing it. We're pretty much right on the edge of this one, and this guy's just beyond the wheel tub. I guess I could put a little bit of a, hey, I'm right here, mark on stuff. And you know what? I am gonna glue it. I'm gonna go ahead and see if that hole's at least close enough. And then I'm going to glue and screw this on. Yep. Looks pretty good. So obviously you wouldn't want to use like 3/8 plywood for the side or for like the walls all the way around the van, because that would be super heavy. For the record, the Liquid Nails Extreme Heavy Duty, there's nothing extreme about it. False advertising. Alright, I'm gonna get some screws. Alright, I'm using zinc plated number 10 by 1.25 inch screws, because that's what I had. My 2-inch are too long for this. And I'm seemingly only going to be able to screw into the one wall stud, which is perfectly fine. There's going to be a cabinet along this whole top. It's going to tie it all together. Guess I can get into it over here. No problem. As I totally split the plywood. It's all right. All right, now I'm gonna draw a line from that screw to that screw and put more in. All right, I'm gonna go down 2 feet. See where that ends up. Beautiful. Very nice. Now I'll go down 4 feet. And put another one right there. I think I need to charge my battery. Get on there. Come on, liquid nails. I need you to be more extreme than that. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is put a piece of 3/8 plywood just to the right of that, but only coming down as far as I want cabinets to be, which I'm going to decide right now. Really, I think just 12 inches is enough. I could do 15s, but I marked out 14.5 on this side. 12 would look much better. All right, so I'm gonna do 12-inch tall cabinets all the way around. I'm gonna cut a 10.5 by 38. Yes, 38. I keep tracing it out on the finished side. Duh. Dummy. I swear this square is just a hair out of square. Yeah, this thing is... The rivets are tight though. I guess I could double check it with my speed square. It's pretty square. It's just my awesome plywood cutting skills here. So I'm going to build the cabinets in place, as you've probably figured out by now. I've decided there are no rules when you're converting a U-Haul into your home. So the ceiling back here isn't totally straight, you know. So I think what I'll do is, like, from right here, put it at 12. And then measure up from the bed. So I know that's straight. So we're just a little over 36. Okay, so imagine, if you will, cabinet all the way across the top down to here, and then just some wall here. And I'm probably gonna mount a screen below, like a, you know, auxiliary monitor for my laptop / TV. I don't really watch TV, but I should probably have one, you know. So the next thing I'll do is measure the full length from the back wall to the end of this. And that is 82.5. And I'm going to rip a 1x in half and cut it to that length. I need to sharpen my pencil and plug in my saw. All right. I bought a whole bunch of 1x4 pine because it's super cheap. This stuff's like $1 or something. It's not 1 inch wide, it's 3/4 by 3.5 ish. So I'm gonna cut it to, I guess, 1 3/4, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna rip this in half, and this is gonna be the rear bottom support for the cabinet. And I bought like 9 or 10 of these, and it's gonna go a long way. And I'll probably buy more before this build's over. But it's super cheap stuff. It's not, you know, it's full of knots and it ain't pretty, but it's cheap, it's light, it's easy to work with. You know, cedar would have been awesome, or any other kind of wood, but this is what I can afford. I'm gonna go a little bit less than 1 3/4 because to split the difference for the kerf, you know. Oh wow, that's coming out right at the bottom. I might trim make this hole a little, you know, there's a wire there. And that's just fine. No problemo. I probably could have went 15 with the cabinet, but that's okay. I'm gonna have a 30-inch tall desk right here. I'm gonna have an 8-inch mattress on top of this thing. There's not gonna be a lot between the cabinet and, you know, it's not gonna be much. Yeah, so 12 from the little piece of trim that holds the ceiling up. So the actual front face of the cabinet, if you account for that, and the curve of the roof, will be like 12 1/4, 12 1/2, something like that. It's close, but it's actually kind of perfect right there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that. I've got a 1/8 inch drill bit. And then 2-inch deck screws, or construction screw. I used those on the bed and part of that rear box and stuff. And I know that 2-inch ain't gonna poke through the wall now, because I got enough going on here. And I'm definitely gonna have to go buy some more of these pretty soon, because I've only got maybe 20 left. That pulled that plywood together real nice. I'm just eyeballing this. Battery is definitely dying. Wouldn't happen if you had a Milwaukee. Shut up. DeWalt's just fine. So one thing I wish I did do on this build is something a little smarter with the wall studs, but it's okay. No regrets. See, I'm afraid of putting a screw here because I don't want to mess up this porch light wire. I'll go to the left of it. even though that's not totally centered between those screws. Oh yeah, she's dead. Okay, I'm gonna charge my battery and we'll move on to the next step. All right, now that that's out of the way, it's time to build my desk. The first thing I need to figure out is how far out do I want it to go. I'm kind of thinking to right here, which is about 21.5 inches. Well, 21 3/4 from the wall. And that'll give me plenty of room in the middle of the van to stand up, turn around, be comfortable, and it'll give me a pretty decent workspace. So I'm just gonna plan on, I call it the grout line, but I'm using my square grid floor that I picked out to, as a good reference point for a lot of this stuff. So, yep, that's gonna be the plan. And I'm gonna start by taking a measurement here. We'll just go ahead with, well, because I'm gonna have a fascia, I gotta think about this. I'll just go ahead and knock off 1/2 inch. So we'll do 21. So I'm gonna frame this out similar to how I did the cabinet for the kitchen, where I'm gonna rip 2x4s in half, make 2x2s, and secure them to the floor around the base, and then kind of build up from there. And that's gonna tie everything together, secure it to the van, make it all, sturdy. So 1 3/4 minus a kerf's width. So, take a 1/16 off of that. Should split the difference. Trying to keep my sawdust out of the front of the shop. If you don't know why I keep saying kerf, they refer to that as the width of the saw blade. $21. Plug in my saw. There's an idea. All right. So that's going to give me a nice 30-inch hallway. Sawdust makes me sneeze. And I'm gonna grab my longer screws. All right, I got some 2.5s, just like I used over here. I'm gonna drill a pilot hole. I think I'm just gonna put one in for now, right at the corner here, to kind of hold that together while I plot and scheme what to do next. Before I screw the rest of that in, I'm going to take some measurements just off of this, I suppose. 21 1/8. Yeah, it's pretty straight, actually. It's pretty good. I'll go ahead and do another one. Why not? Let's be bold. I'll do 3 of them. So a standard desk height is 30 inches, I believe. I made my kitchen counter 36. So I'll make this 30. And I'm gonna get like a chair, like an office chair, but a small one, a little dinky one. Gonna fit in here. One that's still, you know, comfortable though. And I'm gonna subtract a 1/2 inch for the plywood top. So 29.5. And then I'll go ahead and do, well, hold on, brain thoughts coming through, because I'm gonna have wire running behind it. I'm gonna go ahead and do a side piece right here, which will be 27 3/4. Side piece. She's just my side piece. I knew that was gonna happen. I did that on purpose for your entertainment. And we'll put one in the middle, right below this knot. What I need to do now is I'll go ahead and put a piece here for a rear support. Probably have my inverter kind of butt right up to that. Batteries here. This area is going to be open for, like, you know, my feet and my batteries. And then this area here, I'm going to build some drawers. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and cut another one of these. What was that, 21? Yeah. I'm going to cut another 21 and put it right there. And then a piece in the back, a piece in the front. This is going to remain open. I'm going to have a support here and then plywood, or I might cut the plywood next. I don't know. I'm just going as I go, you know, building it as I go. I'm not putting a piece along the top because part of the master plan is to have wire and stuff running down behind the desk. So the actual desk support is going to start off of these supports. So I'll probably have one come up here and one come up here. Not too bad. We're about 19 5/8. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfectly straight. So I can confidently just go ahead and screw into my floor right here. I'm gonna have to buy more screws. I'm gonna go cut a piece to go back there and another one for up here. So I'm gonna make two 19 5/8s. Looks good. Looks good to me. You know that meme with Steve Buscemi from Mr. Deeds? Crazy eyes. Looks good to me. I am quickly running out of screws. That might be like when I call it a night. When I run out of screws. I've got like 8 left. I'm not gonna start skimping on screws though. I need to build this thing robust. Alright, I made a square on the floor with the thingy there and some plywood on the wall. I'm gonna make another thingy right there. And there. And here. I'm gonna make 3 more vertical thingies of the same length, which is 27 3/8. Be right back. All right, I had to rip another 2x4, but I've got 3 vertical posts. Probably mount them like that, cut side out for a fascia. I have 6 screws left. Uh-oh. Actually, I think I have a box of screws somewhere. I'll try to go find it. There we go. 22 5/8. Really? Yeah. What's our in between? 19 1/2. Let's just go off of that. Okay, so yeah, I gotta just kind of hold it over here. That looks so crooked, but it's not. I think I got into the wall stud there. That's cool. Yep, that's straight as an arrow. It just optical illusion. All right, I am in business. And I'm going to owe my friend, the carpet guy, a box of screws. So this goes here. And then I need to make a top piece. So what I'm gonna do is line this up and draw a line here. And then measure 17 1/2. And I'm gonna go cut a piece. In theory, this should be the same, but I will just repeat the procedure right here just to be sure. I'm going to be leaving this space open underneath as well. Oh, that's a little less. That's like 17 and... Nope, it's the same. All right, I'm going to go cut 2 more pieces. Be right back. I decided to give you a different camera angle. How do you like that? And I've started my second 2x4. So like all of this I've made out of one 2x4 so far. Cutting them in half really saves on material and weight. That's the whole point, mostly weight. Wrong drill. Fine. Didn't want to go together perfectly, but that's just how it is sometimes. I'm going to run a couple in at angles, which really isn't the best way to do stuff, but I don't know. I just do whatever, as you've probably noticed. Toenailing it or whatever. I actually make like a special jig to do that, to toenail stuff. They also make framing nailers that do that. Alright, that's frustrating. It keeps moving over. Why? Oh, because there's a screw there. That'll do it. I'm gonna move this down. Get out of the way. What was my measurement now? Now I need to remeasure 19 and a half. Yeah. 19 and a half. There. That tape measure's getting wore out. Let's try this again. Only got 2 of these screws left, and I'm switching to the new screws, which are fatter. Same length, but they're fatter. These are like number 8s. It doesn't even say. But these other ones are like number 10s. Fatties. They're like deck screws. But they'll do the trick. Okay. Next. Same exact thing, but over here. Okay, next. $19 and a half. Yep. So I'm gonna cut 2 19 and a halves and go that way with them. Wood glue and clamps and stuff would be like game changing. I don't really have like bar clamps and stuff, actually. I think I have one, but it's not here. But that's okay. Make do with what you got. I do have wood glue. I should be using it, but I mostly bought that for all the little stuff, the little 1-bys that I'm going to be ripping into short pieces and using to build my cabinets with. This is going to be plenty strong enough once I put the plywood on it. Okay. We have stuff. It's looking like something. Now I need to build stuff over here. So 30-inch desk height, I made it 29 and a half plus the 1/2 inch for the top. And I believe I made my bed 24 to the top of the plywood So that's 23.5. The wheel well thingy with the foam on it is about 6 3/4. So I guess just take 29.5 minus 6 3/4 and put a piece there. But I got to make sure my batteries fit. I should probably go grab those and put them in place now. Or I put a piece here and just have this for the wires to go through, which is really all I need, to be honest. Because the reason I designed it like this is so wires can run through here. And then I need a nice support to go across that as well. So I've got 22 inches exactly for an opening here, which is pretty good. I like that. Getting to that point where my brain's not working anymore because it's too late at night. Been up since 6. It's like 10 o'clock. Also, I'm putting a drawer right here for clothes. And then the diesel heater goes under that vent here. Maybe vents up that way. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, I just confirmed that I can put a piece here and the batteries will fit just fine. That is not going to be an issue. Alright, now you're right up close and personal with me down here. So I've got some funkiness going on. I cut a piece of the 3/8 plywood to go right there. Then I have a full width 2x4 that's going to go right here. And that will secure everything to the wall stud. Then I have a short piece of that to go right there. And that's you know, it's funky, but it's gonna work. Like I said, there's no rules here. We're just turning a U-Haul into an RV. So, and you're probably just staring at my back, but these are close quarters here in the van. Oh, took the bit. All right, that's nice and secure. Now we'll put this piece here, just like that. Definitely buying more screws tomorrow. I gotta grab my brad nailer too. You're like, who the hell's Brad? What's he talking about? I went ahead and screwed that one right into the bed frame. That is super secure. This is all solid. Next, I gotta make a piece here, and a piece here, and a piece there, and a little piece down there. So, basically the same design as this side, but without the bottom piece. And this will all be open under here, where the batteries are. Everything's pretty much gonna be like you can see it. It's gonna be all exposed, the whole electrical system. And that's just the way I want it. Yeah, I like that. That's a good little opening for my feet. What I think I'll do is just screw this to the bed frame. So I need to make sure I have got 17.5 between. So I'll draw a line. Put a line there. I'm gonna screw this to that. nice and level. And I'll use that as a guide to put this bottom piece on. We're tying the floor to the walls, to the desk, to the bed, to the everything. We are making the U-Haul like stout, like what's the word? Shoring it up here. Oh, tensile strength. There we go. I am adding tensile strength to the U-Haul. Something it really didn't have before, because these walls were pretty thin. There we go. How about that? Now I screw this to the floor. Take a couple measurements just to make sure they're the same. So that's 20 and 9/16. Oh yeah, perfect. There we go. Now I gotta screw this to that. 45 it. I'll start saying that instead of toenail. Because that really doesn't make sense. Who came up with toenail? Not me, I'm just repeating it. Honestly, L brackets would make more sense than 45 and screws as well. But then I'd have to go buy, L brackets and stuff. Spend more money. All right, next, piece here, piece there, piece there. And then we cut some plywood for the top. Oh, I did break the bit. Haha, time for a new bit. In the last video, I broke so many bits. I don't even remember what I was trying to do, but... Oh, hanging my ceiling on that front support for the roof. Trying to drill pilot holes. I went through like a bunch of bits. How does that look? Good? Are you happy with it? I am. Very nice. All right, next. Piece here, piece there. 20 and a half. Well, 20 and 9/16. And that's only 20 and a quarter. What? What? Ow. I'm getting old. I'm not even going there. 20 and a half. 20 and a half. We'll just... Well, that's more like 20 and 5/8. We'll do 9/16. 20 and a half, 20 and 9/16. Oh, hey, I can just do that. All right, 20 and a half. Got it. Very nice. Oh yeah, it fits good. Snaps together like Legos. Not really. Oh, perfect. That was pretty good. Not bad. All right. There we go. Just like that. Why did I go that way with that one? Should I do the same here just to make it symmetry? Yeah. Sure. Oh yeah. I got a desk. It's perfect. Yeah. Laptop. MIDI controller. Some speakers. All right, so before I cut and install the top, I have to put plywood on this side. Before I put plywood on this side, I need to cut some panel for right here, because the plywood here is going to hold the panel's edge here, and then above this point there's going to be some trim. So I cut a piece of the handy panel to fit right here. So what I need to do is get this set in place. Okay, now I need to go on the other side and trace out the door opening and then add to that measurement whatever the width of the frame is. I think I'm gonna do this one with the Sharpie. I'm going to add 3/4 of an inch all the way around. And wouldn't you know it, a 1x is 3/4. So I'm just gonna kind of go around with this piece of wood here. I'm really not sure how I'm gonna make the edge of the door frame and this panel like look good and finished. I got a feeling that there's gonna be some caulk involved. Maybe I'll look in the weather strip aisle, try to find something I can glue on there that'll look, you know, professional. I think this is a good start though. Oh my god, this is terrible. Well, that kind of worked. Definitely gonna need some trim. I keep taping these wires up and they just keep falling back down. Stay. You know, it's about as good as I thought it would be. This van has lots of character. That's like when you call an ugly child homely. Definitely needs some trim. I could get that door edge molding, you know, that might work, like you put on your car. We'll see. Oh, I should have used this on the ceiling. Cheaper. All right, well, Loctite Power Grab Heavy Duty is better than Liquid Nails Extreme Heavy Duty. Just so you know. and it's cheaper when it's on sale. Those were $2.99. Yeah, like it grabs with power. I like it. Okay. All right, now that this is on, I'm gonna cut a piece of plywood to go right here. I think I'm just gonna use 3/8. But for the front, I'm doing 1/2 inch. And I'm not doing that in this video. I'm gonna do the same over there for the kitchen. All right, I cut a piece of 3/8. Ooh, that fits nice. And I sanded it because this is also going to be stained. Oh, lame. Lame. I'll just kind of hit that with the hammer later. Same with that. Give it a couple of love taps with the hammer. Ah. Ah. Damn it, Dave. Also, if this wasn't a van, I wouldn't be using screws. I just nail it. But, you know. Oh, wow. There was a void in there. Jeez. Alright, that's just disappointingly ugly. Dirty ass hammer. Well, shoot. I'll probably need a little wood filler on that piece. Oh well. I can put trim there too. Whatever. Okay. Now I gotta make a top. And I gotta decide if before I install the top, do I put some side chunks here? Because I got a vision, but I don't know if I'm ready for those pieces yet. And I don't really have the hardware to install them. I think I'm just gonna cut the top for now. This video is probably long enough too. 45 exactly. What? Wow. How did that work out like perfection? I mean, it's 44 and, 15/16, but 45 by 19 1/4. That's amazing. All right, super warped plywood. And again, I failed to add the 1/2 inch for the fascia. That's okay. I got an idea. I'm gonna temporarily put a couple screws in this because the warpedness of it is bothering me. I'm going to Formica this just like the kitchen counter. They're gonna match. I'll use this as a template to know how far out to bring my plywood here. Okay. Then we'll flush it up that way. I might be remaking this top. Let's just say it's not going to be a completely square piece. Actually, it's pretty square. I just didn't cut the plywood very well. Oops. Oopsie poopsies. Imagine this. This whole area here behind the desk is going to be like the van's command center. The bridge. I watched a lot of Star Trek as a kid. There's going to be cabinets up here, all the whole length of this wall, from above the bed to the end. They're going to come out about 12 inches or so, all storage. On this wall, and the reason I left an area back here, I'm going to put some 1x down each side, and then basically a sheet of plexiglass. And I might tint it too. All of this is going to be stained and polyed. And on this wall right here, behind my desk, I'm going to have my laptop, you know, my office, my studio, where I make YouTubes. I'm going to have the solar controller, the battery monitor, the controller for my inverter, the Starlink router, my other router, my camera server, a weather station, like an indoor-outdoor thermometer, tons of switches for everything, the controller for my diesel heater. I'm going to have a small, like single DIN DC automotive like stereo receiver, a couple of speakers, maybe some lights under the cabinet, a couple of fans in the top to pull heat up this whole area here, like this case. Think of like, you know, one of those gaming PCs. I'm going to have all the wiring ran super clean. It's going to look super professional, really nice. It's going to be basically just the guts of the van, like the power system of this thing. It's going to be amazing. And it's all going to be behind like a plexiglass sheet that I can either open up somehow or like slide out. And the reason I made it a void here is because the switches are going to mount flush with that plexiglass, and all the wires will be behind that. And then you get underneath the desk, and I'm going to have my fuse box, my breaker panel for the AC side of the system, my terminal blocks, my DC to DC charger, all the main wiring for the batteries and the inverter, and all of that under the desk. All accessible. The batteries are going to be just right there, like, you know, as you're sitting at the desk, it's going to be right where my feet are. All like, you know, opened up and able to get warmth, and that inverter, I'm sure, puts out a lot of heat, so it needs to breathe. And then on this side of the desk, I'm going to have drawers pretty much the whole way down. And this side will be open. That's the vision, anyway. So that's what I'm working on. It's like midnight and it's Friday night, and I'm going to go home, get some sleep, and then all morning tomorrow I'm going to edit this video and try to have it done by, a reasonable amount of time so you guys can watch this weekend. And then once I'm done and I upload this video, I'm going to get right back here to work on the van and just continue right where I left off tonight. Back to the wood stove exhaust from my last video, the B vent. So I got to thinking about it. This stuff is rated for 470 degrees Fahrenheit. And pellet grill pipe, like I put right here, the only difference is this is stainless on the inside. And this, I'm pretty sure the inside of this is aluminum. And I've decided I'm going to return all of this B vent and buy pellet grill pipe. It's like significantly more expensive, but it's going to be just way safer. Pellet grill pipe is, I don't know what it's rated at, but I'm sure it's a hell of a lot more than 470. It's probably more like 750 or something. And it costs a lot more, and the elbows are different. They're not adjustable elbows. You can get 90s or 45s. That's it. So it's all still going to work, but I might have to get like a couple of shorter pieces to make up the difference in length from the elbows. So I can't find everything I need locally too, I figured out. Duravent, they also make Amerivent or whatever. They're the company I'm gonna go with. They make the Duravent Pro pellet grill pipe, and it comes in black. I won't even have to paint it. But I'm either going to have to find a way to buy that online or figure something out. But that's what I'm doing with the wood stove exhaust. And I kind of knew that before I put out my last video. But I mean, by the time you spend a week filming a video and editing it, and then, it's not like I'm going to just scrap the whole thing and start over. So that's why I kind of put that disclaimer on there, like, hey, don't do what I'm doing, because I don't want to be responsible for, somebody burning down their van. I'm not trying to show people how to do stuff. I'm just showing you how I'm doing it. But pellet grill pipe is, I think, the best way to go. It's double wall. They don't really make wood stove pipe in 3-inch. They make it in 6-inch. But the only thing they really make in 3-inch is pellet grill pipe. And it's basically, it's what it's made for, And like those super shiny, pretty looking stainless pipes that you see on Amazon, those are made for those like hot tent camping stoves. Those are not made for, they're not 3-inch. They're like 2 1/4 inch or 2.5 or something. So as nice as those look, they're single wall and they're not made the right size for this. So yeah, that's what I'm doing with that. And then from a few videos back when I was doing the plumbing, I talked about water filters and stuff. I ended up buying one, a Black Friday deal. And at first I was worried about getting a brand where I could get the filters, the replacement filters. But after doing some research, the filters cost pretty much as the whole system does. So it doesn't matter. These will last like a year to 18 months, and when it's time to replace them, I'll just scrap this and buy something else. But I went with water drop, and it's, I don't know. It's got good reviews. National Geographic, like, put them in their magazine. But that's my water filters. And after doing some research, reverse osmosis is definitely total overkill, especially for an RV. It requires a lot more water pressure to be able to work, and that's why a lot of them have them expansion tanks on them. And yeah, this is it's a 3-stage. There's like a carbon filter and then like a particulate filter. It's pretty much, it's going to remove anything dangerous out of the water without removing like total dissolved solids. But it's going to get all the, you know, like bacteria and viruses and agricultural chemicals and all the heavy metals, you know, like lead, arsenic, you know, Black Sabbath, Slayer, Megadeth, Judas Priest. It's going to get all of that out of my water. And I'll still use these little filters that I bought in line with the hose as I'm filling the tank for the van. And this is only for the kitchen faucet. I'm not going to filter my shower water. So, just for drinking water for me and my cats, I think I could get at least a year and a half out of this. And it was like 95 bucks. So, there you go. Well, it's about midnight and a half, and I've got quite the mess to clean up. I'm going to get this video done and edited and uploaded tomorrow and get right back to work on the van. I've got an interesting drive home tonight too, because there's an ice storm going on. I have travel videos scheduled every Wednesday through New Year's. So, and it just so happens that they fall on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So if the holiday season is torture for you, there's your relief. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment and a thumbs up and all that stuff. And I'll see you next week.